Hi, it's Jez here from nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So today I'm bringing you a gift box that I made for the Stampin' Inspirations blog hop. And the theme was Christmas in July. And so I made this fold flat box. So you could make these in advance of Christmas, have them put away, and then when you need a gift box you can just get them out. I haven't designed it to hold anything in particular, but it's a nice size and it will hold quite a bit. So the actual box measures, I didn't write it down, so yes, it's 4-inch square at the top and it's 1 3/4 deep. So a nice size box, and if you watch me regularly you might think that looks a little bit familiar because I made it to match the card that I made for a different blog hop. So if you've seen that video you will have seen that I remade it in pale papaya, this being fresh freesia. So I'm going to make this to match this in pale papaya, and I just think that's just a lovely, having a gift box that matches the card, that just makes it a little bit extra special for Christmas. So we need a piece of cardstock for the box, which is 11 inches by 7.5. We need a square for the panel, and this is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, just like the card I made previously. I'm going to use this square from the Whimsy dies and create that diamond shape, and then inside that I'm going to layer up some snowflakes. I'm using the So Many Snowflake dies, and I will be using a bit of this lovely glittery vellum to cut that out. If you have a little look here, I've used gems in the middle and on the 4 corners, and if you can see there, these have got a little bit of a circle around, and I got that by cutting out a circle using this label punch. I just fed in some scraps. So from making of the card, never throw my scraps away, I had these left over, and if I just put that up there I can cut myself 4 little circles which will go nicely under the gem. I don't have the blends for this. I did use, I think, the lightest Highland Heather to colour this one, and I was wondering if the lightest, oh, where's that one gone? The lightest not Calypso Coral. Yeah, Calypso Coral. I was right. Would work. I'm going to cut another one because I think one of those is not quite right. Do get a little bit messy doing this, so that got stuck up there. I do lose a bit there. That's the other one, so that's me 4, so that's how I got that. So I've done these before using that circle to make my own dots before. So yes, I'm either going to leave it silver or I'm going to try the lightest Calypso Coral and see if that works. If not, I might leave it silver. So I'm going to leave that with that so I don't lose it. and we'll die cutting those when we come to the die cutting. But first off, we're gonna do some stamping. So I created this snowflake effect by, in so many snowflakes, there's this stamp here. It looks bigger, that's because this is shown at 70%. And I just thought that'd be a quick way of going around and creating the snowflake design. So I'm going to go around and do that. I'm going to bring in a scrap piece here so that I don't mess up my clean bit of grid mat. So not thinking about it, I'm just going to randomly stamp all the way around, giving this tone on tone effect. And obviously I'm going to make a box, so some of it will get cut away. So I'm going to carry on doing that, but a bit faster. So that's it all stamped, and I didn't mind about some of it going overlapping because it's such a small space that it doesn't really matter. So we're going to score on the long side at 1 1/4, at 5 1/4, at 6 1/2, and at 10 1/2. And all these measurements will be on my blog. And then we're going to score on the short side at 1/2, concentrating on this one, sometimes go off it, 1 3/4, 5 3/4, that was 4 3/4, and 7. Right, so I'm going to just go oh, it's not that one, it's that one I want to go over. God, totally getting it wrong today. Trying to counteract that score line. I want to put that one back in. There we go. So I'm sure I'm not alone in scoring something wrong. So we'll just flatten it back out. I'll give this one to Ed. There we go. So now we're going to fold and burnish all of these score lines. I'm not too bothered about it. There we go. So it's going to be the top of the box as well. That's a pain. Never mind, it is what it is. So let's get some cutting done. So we are going to cut out this little rectangle at the bottom. So I'm going to go straight up the score line and take a notch out there. And we're going to go straight up these score lines. And we're going to cut off that bit there. And we're going to notch in these squares. Didn't notch that one in that well, there was still a bit of score line there. And the same on the other side, and then two of these flaps are going to get cut off, but I'm going to work out which is top, which is bottom, to know which ones to cut off. There we go. So that's going to go around like that. That needs to be the bottom, so I want that to fold under, so I'm going to take these off. I thought it was the two nearest that flap, but I doubt myself sometimes. So I'm going to cut these off. So just cut straight up the score line. There we go. I might save those bits. And then I like to do a little thumb hole. I'm using my little half circle punch because I've got it to hand. You could use other things. I can't remember what I used on this one. I think I used a snowman's head. But let me just double check that. Yeah, I did. I used the snowman's head. Actually gives you a better sized thumb hole. It's easier to judge when I'm in the centre as well. There. Better thumb hole there with the snowman's head. And then we need to round these, and I've forgotten the corner rounder. And that just makes it much easier to close the box, and it looks prettier as well. So yeah, I find one way it goes lovely, and then the other way it doesn't. There we go. So then I'm going to take a bit of fast fuse for quickness. You can use Stampin' Seal Plus, is similar strength. Tearing tape, Tombow, or whatever adhesive you like to use that is strong, because it's a 3D project, so you don't want it falling apart, so don't use ordinary Stampin' Seal. So that'll do that. and then it closes up. Like so. So that's our box. So now we need to decorate. So we are going to get these lovely circles into the corner there so I don't forget them. So we're going to run this through the embossing folder. So we're going to do it once like that, run it through, and then once like that and run it through. We are also going to die cut the snowflakes, and we're going to die cut the largest and the one below it out of this glittery vellum. So I just want a little bit of vellum. So I'll just cut what I need so I don't waste it. And we'll get those die cut out, and then we'll be able to finish off the box. Okay, so they're all cut out, and I went to get my blends, and then I thought actually the light pumpkin pie is probably the best match. So I'll do one of these big ones for the centre of the snowflake, and then we'll have 4 of these for the 4 corners. And I think that will be fine. Could have left it without, so if you haven't got any blends, then that's okay. So let's get our snowflakes sorted. So be careful with these. I did have a little bit of a mishap in the other video. Where I lost a little part of the snowflake. So make sure you have released them using the release holes, and then gently pull them out so you don't break a bit off. There we go, so pretty. I do love snowflakes. The sun is shining and I'm making a card with snowflakes. Yeah, so that's going to layer up like so. Get rid of them. So I'm going to use my little precision glue here. I've got Tombow in here. Just dot that around. And I like to get an acrylic block. And I've centered it to hold it down. I find it's the easiest way when you've got delicate things like this. Applies pressure all over, and then I layer this on top so that the prongs of this snowflake go in the gaps. Again, put my block on there. I'm going to need my dimensionals because I did pop it up on dimensionals. And then I'm just going to put a little blob in each corner. And I don't need it anymore. And I'm going to pick up my circles, make sure it's glitter size up. Because it's glittery on one side and plain on the other. I think that one's flipped. Yeah. There we go. And then we'll put these in the centre, and I just think it gives it a little bit of something, having that border around. Could of course use the in colour gems, they would work rather than colouring. And then one in the middle, like so. Hold that down for a sec. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back so that it pops it up on top of the box. So I want one in the middle, one of them in each corner. And that's my box. So you could get on a roll and have a bit of a conveyor belt going with these. You could leave out the dimensional bit if you wanted to cut costs. I just like it. There's no up, down. So slightly easier to do it flat. And we should have same border all the way around, so it's a 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So if you don't press down, you've got a little bit of time. There we go. And that's our gift box that matches our card. And here are our cards. So yeah, who wouldn't like something like that at Christmas? Maybe to give to a teacher, for teacher thank you, work colleague, do a Secret Santa. It is quite pretty, I think. So hope you like that. I will link to the blog down below, which will have all the measurements for the box, and I will link to the Stamping Inspirations blog hop as well, so you can see what everybody else has made. All my shop links are down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.